Day 207, Bernal Heights. When I was growing up, we called Bernal Heights the hood between the two hoods. The hood on the one side being Bayview Hunters Point, and then the hood on the other side being the Mission District. Bernal Heights is a really interesting little neighborhood. Actually, where I grew up, the Excelsior Outer Mission is really just on the other side of Bernal Heights. We kind of share a border. But Bernal Heights, I knew that as a historic, not, would I call it an African-American neighborhood? It was a very diverse neighborhood, definitely much more diverse than it is now. And it's known for a few things. The hills there are really intense, like really intense. Everybody talks about Lombard Street, but Vermont Street, they actually have like this soapbox derby that they do every year. And Vermont Street is really insane, but there's another street that starts with a B. I almost want to say it's Bradford, Brad something. That street claims to be one of the steepest streets, if not the steepest street in the entire world. And Guinness hasn't confirmed that, but I was reading that I think it has like a 41% grade, which is absolutely, absolutely insane. I have done enough work in Bernal Heights to know that those hills are insane. They're like this. So anyway, Bernal Heights was originally part of a land grant that was owned by a man named Jose Cornelio Bernal. And then the land changed hands and was owned by a Frenchman. Whenever in early San Francisco history, whenever they talk about, oh, the land changed hands, it's usually a war and it's usually people died and it wasn't sold. Otherwise, they would have just said that. It was usually obtained by illegal means. So pretty sure that's the case with Bernal Heights. Because, yeah, the way that they kind of just said, oh, this Frenchman came to own it. But anyway, that Frenchman, he divided the land into lots, and then he actually got army people from the Presidio during the Civil War to actually lay the streets out, whatever the terminology is for that. And that's why so many of the streets in Bernal Heights have like military names, because he literally hired an army person from the Presidio to help with the land surveying. I think that's the proper term. Bernal Heights experienced three little waves of population growth. The first one was after the 1906 earthquake and fires, where it became a huge, huge destination because the earthquake and fires did not cross over into Bernal Heights. That was the first time. Second time was World War II, when it experienced a lot of spillover. And when I say spillover, because Bayview Hunters Point was a neighborhood that experienced the mass migration, but then Bernal Heights is right there. So it would make sense that Bernal Heights also got some of that migration that happened from the South during World War II, when a lot of people came to work up on the shipyards, predominantly African American. The third wave was really during the 1990s, and it's interesting because, again, I know Bernal Heights as the hood between the two hoods, and those houses have gotten so nice and gentrified that it's no longer the hood anymore. It's become just as gentrified as Noe Valley. It's become just as gentrified. Yeah, I mean, it's a bougie little neighborhood, Bernal Heights. That's what it is now, which, again, blew my mind because it's not what I knew Bernal Heights as growing up. I guess I'll end the video on this note. What I did know about Bernal Heights, kind of my personal connection growing up, is that it's where the Alemany flea market is, technically. So the Alemany flea market is in Bernal Heights, and that's the one that we would go to growing up because we lived on that part of town. So anyway, a little bit about a neighborhood in San Francisco known as Bernal Heights.